From Lalate News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings Lalate.
It's a big early morning here on Lalate with incredible great details about your fourth stimulus check updated 2021. Massive amount of breaking news happening that's all impacting your fourth stimulus. We'll be going over first the fourth stimulus check and why the breaking news may signal more months of checks. Then we'll go over the recon where the fourth stimulus checks allegedly are located and why that recon could actually be signaling a lot more money for you across the board. Should or could the recon also have unemployment extension of benefits, student loan debt forgiveness, mortgage payments, and other things in there like rent? I'll have all the details on that. Then we go over everything you've been asked being answered in the final 15 minutes of this video, going over the July 4th, the July 15th, the vote, the bill, the drafting, everything you need to know. And then we cut to fifth stimulus and why the breaking news yesterday signaled a big shocker. As we thought that inflation was going up, it's going down. What's going on here? And finally, we go over the big money across the board that viewers continue to get. $15,000, $20,000, $30,000. It's insane, enormous sums of money. I want you to get the big money across the board. It's there for you to get it, and we're going to go over all the incredible details on this big early mornings broadcast. The toast is toast and the butter is butter, and I'm here, you're here. And this is Early Mornings LA. Deserve a weekend. We all deserve a weekend, but away we go. It's been sort of hot and muggy here in Southern California. Not particularly miserable, but just not. The air feels sort of tight. I wish it would just sort of loosen up. So I guess it's sort of tighten up tight, like Mitch. How's the weather where you are? Jump in the live chat and tell me where you're tuning in from. And if the weather's tight like Mitch where you are as well, in this fourth stimulus check update of 2021, I've never seen a day like this. I mean, in 8 hours, the whole universe got rewritten. What happened with this breaking news? The breaking news is just so inverted. Everything went the opposite direction. You're just going to be shocked. We're going to go over the monthly stimulus checks and why the breaking news signals that maybe those checks may go for many more months than initially thought. Then we'll go to the recon, and suddenly we'll go over why the breaking news signals that the recon needs to have unemployment and rent and mortgage and business grants in there as well. We're going to go over that as additionally. Then we'll over the third part of the final 15 minutes of the video, the most critical part. We'll go over everything you've been asking about. July 4th, July 15th, the vote, the drafting, the bill, when, how, and when. Then we cut to fifth stimulus, which had a shocker as the 10-year Treasury note plummeted yesterday. I'll go over why that impacts your SSI and SSDI benefits. And finally, we go with the big money that viewers continue to get, like Nisi, who got $23,000, John, who got $12,000, Art Solomon, who got 3 items. And this is LA, America's only 24-hour-a-day, 7 days a week financial news channel in America. Live in the morning, then taped in the afternoons. I'm next back with you with Mornings LA at 9 a.m. live on air. And right at the time of this recording is Overnight's Crypto, which this video will take you automatically into. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. Next up, 1 million. I want you part of this family. Hit that subscribe button. Like the video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Let's get right into that surprising details about that fourth stimulus check starting right now. It was now about the start of last week where I still was saying, well, those legislators may contend the pandemic's over and just want to give you a year of checks, don't want to give you pandemic plus 1 year. And then a week ago about now, LA County said, no, the pandemic's not over. Then Warren Buffett said, no, the pandemic's not over. Then airlines said the pandemic's not over. Then this happening yesterday. Let's go over what's happening. The House bill, pandemic plus 1 year is the way it's written. Stimulus checks monthly, pandemic plus 1 year is the way the House bill is written. Senate is written July to December, so a lot less checks. Let's go over the payouts across the board. The payouts are more on the Senate side, but over short in duration. So House, $1,000 a month after the first month of $2,000. Senate, unknown, but word on the street is it's this. Wow, now that's delicious. $2,000 over 6 months, $12,000 a person. Or $1,400 over 6 months, $8,400 a person. Now, here is what happened, is that suddenly we had been less than 2 weeks ago, where we said the legislators are going to say the pandemic's over. Just going to give you 12 months of checks, which on the House side, which would be $13,000. And then we started seeing some indication that maybe the pandemic's not over. And then the breaking news hit yesterday. Just news left and right. The pandemic is far from being over because of Delta. Here you go. China issuing a statement that their economy is slowing because of the pandemic. We think that the policy signals suggest that the economy likely slowed in June, says Wing Zhang, chief economist at Pinpoint. Then Japan announced a state of emergency because of Delta, banning spectators of the Olympic Games. Then the stock market crashed as economies were not recovering. Jobless claims surging. Then Treasury yields falling dramatically. And then Missouri, 80% of ICU beds are full capacity. More about this later, but suddenly now it's just hitting very quickly. It's just like everything changed overnight. Pandemic not over, looks like. So how then would you look at the Senate versus House? The House looks like it would provide a lot more checks now because it is pandemic plus 1 year. And if the pandemic ain't over, then compare that to this. Yeah, I think you have an opinion. Jump in the live chat right now and vote House or Senate on this early morning's broadcast. House or Senate, tell me where you're tuning in from and how's the weather. Your opinion may have changed. I mean, my opinion started to change last week. It has really changed as of now. So there you go. Who gets this fourth stimulus check? Democrats represent that everyone who got a third stimulus check would get a fourth stimulus check. Married couple, $150,000 or less, you would get a fourth stimulus check. The Democrats represent. Double it. Single individuals, Democrats want to represent, they want to give you a fourth stimulus check, $75,000 or less. Family of four, Democrats represent, they want to give you a fourth stimulus check, quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, Democrats represent, they want to give you a fourth stimulus check. The fourth stimulus check is not income. It's not taxable. The fourth stimulus check would not pay a different amount for different people, but the same for everyone. And the fourth stimulus check would come monthly. It would not come in waves. So if you do see that stimulus check at the local coffee shop this morning, and you see them and you see the check trying to draw waves in the frothed milk on top of the cappuccino, don't try that joke because I know you're going there. Hey, check what's going on. I see you trying to draw waves in the cappuccino. Is my check coming in waves? Rude check. I wish you scald in your coffee. It's not a rude check. It just likes to do waves in the froth. It doesn't like to be frothy with you. So there we go. The fourth stimulus check the Democrats represent would still land the month of July for the month of July, and then the month of August for the month of August. And what happened with Chuck and Nancy was saying that by July 4th, the final vote will be in the month of July. Well, I'll explain that in the third part of this video. I'll go over what's going on in the third part of this video. The final 15 minutes of this video, stay to that final 15, where I go over the vote, the July 4th, the July 15th, the drafting, the voting process, everything you need to know. But in the second part of this video, we'll be going over the recon and why this economic data suggests they got to put a lot of other stuff in the recon. And they are already. Ooh, it's getting interesting. But first, here's a brief of the second half of this video. It's fifth stimulus. Fifth stimulus heats up this fall with raising up your benefits. And yep, those benefits are tied to inflation. And we got this breaking data about the inflation rate yesterday. It just went the other direction. Here we go. A lot of breaking news on the show. But first, let's get some money. It's the early mornings, and we're getting money 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on this channel. If you're new to this channel, this is what I do. I get viewers money, and that's what I do. When you talk about money, there's nothing more important about getting it when you need it. When second stimulus was not happening in December, I stepped forward. I said, hey, let me get you money. It was December. People need their bills paid, and I got viewers $250,000 of rent. And we're sort of like that now. We're waiting for fourth stimulus to pass, and it's not yet passing, and I'm stepping up and getting you money. In December, I got viewers $250,000. I got Tyrone $15,000 for his family farm in Boston, and it just paid their bills throughout the holidays. I've been giving viewers money since day one, but I want you to get this big money. And if you're on the live chat right now, post right now in the live chat any pennies of money you got from this channel. Post the rent you got. Post the utilities you got. Post the SNAP. And you have been killing it. I'm so proud of you. It was just days ago where I was saying the rent is about $5,000, 4 to 6 months of rent. I was wrong. Viewers are getting $10,000 to $13,000 daily from this channel, single individuals for rent. Nisi got $20,000 for rent, plus utilities, plus SNAP, a total of $23,000. Art Sullivan got 3 items. And viewers just gained $10,000 to $12,000, $13,000 for rent. As utilities, I said it's a couple $100. I was wrong. Viewers are getting $3,000 for utilities. For Snap, I said, hey, they're getting about $5,000, $6,000. Now some did, but a lot of viewers like John are getting $12,000 for Snap. So if you got this big money, post in the live chat. Get that pen and paper. Right? I'm going to show you how to get this big money. Here we go. Each place has different eligibility. If one says no, reach out to the next until you get a yes. You ready? You're going to reach out to your city hall, your city housing authority. Your county hall, your county housing authority. Your state hall, your state housing authority. Keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID. Rent assistance because of COVID. Or mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. You don't say words they don't know. Like stimulus. Or Mitch's mixtape track list. Oh, goodness. No, I don't know that. I don't listen to his type of music. It's not in my iPod. I don't know him. Is he a new singer? I have not heard of him. Mitch who? Yeah, you don't want to know him. Okay, thank you. You have reached the wrong number. Congratulations to Tim and Linda who got this wonderful money. Tim and Linda who got this wonderful pot of money. But the next pot of money is Snap. If you got Snap, jump in the live chat. Snap pays a fortune. As I told you, John got $12,000 from it. Lynn Glenn got it for herself. Lynn Glenn got it for herself, her son, and her mom. Gail got it as well. Snap is a fortune. Snap is $16,000 for family 4 in Hawaii. Why so much money? Because of 2 wonderful executive orders. One from Biden, one from Trump that raised your benefits up 15% between now and December. So go get it. And how do you get it? Call up Department of Agriculture. What is it? It's money for your food. And the eligibility is the same about as a stimulus check. If you qualify for a stimulus check, why would you not get SNAP? Why would you pay for your own money to get food when the federal government has offered to do it? And with a 15% increase between now and December that's not retroactive, why would you be waiting around? You should do that right away. Well, watch the end of this video and then do it right away. And there you go. We are only 12 minutes of this video and we've gotten $5,000 approximately for rent and $16,000 for family 4 in Hawaii for SNAP. Let's get some more money right now, and it's coming back from your states. The states have been ordered to return money back to you. Due to computer error. Not your computer. Your computer works fine. It's their computer. One viewer 2 nights ago got $3,000 from this. I was excited. We had another viewer get $5,000. What is this? This is the computer error due to unemployment. The federal government has ordered it back. Where? Direct deposit. When? Reach out to your respective state and say, hey, state, where's that money due to the computer error? Can you track it with a computer that actually works? And finally, the refund check from IRS. If you have gotten it, jump in the live chat and tell viewers what you got and when you got it. Margaret got it, Todd got it, and Michael got it. It's wonderful. Let's go over the details. First, let's say you had $9,000 of total unemployment benefits. You pay $4,000 of taxes, $5,000 of taxes, of which $4,000 was your taxes on unemployment benefits. Congratulations, you're getting back $4,000. Where? Direct deposit. When? This month. Can you track it? Or in the mail. Can you track it? Yeah. About 70% of the time you can. Go to irs.gov, do a transcript search, and it'll reveal stuff that you never knew. It'll reveal some stuff that you don't want to know. It'll reveal the taxes in your file, the taxes you paid. It'll reveal, when Mitch is talking to Nancy, does he sing? If Mitch and Nancy did a duet, what would it be called? And finally, it will reveal when you're getting back your tax return refund check from IRS. Wow, can we top that? We can. As we go into the second part of your fourth stimulus check update of 2021 starting right now. So away we go. It was 2 weeks ago on a Wednesday where the split occurred. I call the split when they took the recon apart and put the bipartisan somewhere else. Before that date, there was a problem. The recon was too big. Recon at the time had your money and had money for roads and bridges in there. It was too big. It was what was called unpassable, not passable. They had pulled the Democratic members of Congress, and they said, no, I'm not voting in favor of that recon. It's too big. Take the roads and bridges out. So 2 Wednesdays ago, they took the roads and bridges out, and they shrunk it. And suddenly, the recon was shrunk, and the roads and bridges were put into the bipartisan. And there we go. Roads and bridges put into the bipartisan, and the money for everyone else staying in the recon. That created a 2-path process. The 2-path process, the recon, the Americans' money, and then the bipartisan, the money for roads and bridges. Suddenly, it became passable, the recon. And we have that confirmation from not only Democrats, but the GOP. In a beautiful op-ed written on a conservative publication, this author wrote just days ago, the higher the number was on the recon, the harder it was to pass, obviously. But by allowing the Democrats to remove part of the spending of the recon and putting in the bipartisan roads and bridges, the overall price tag of the recon got smaller. There you go. In other words, the bipartisan deal made the recon passable. Done. Sorry, Mitch, set you up. There's no other way to say it. There was nothing to gain for the GOP by blessing the bipartisan because it made the recon passable. There you go. That's the first thing. The second one was now that the recon was shrunk, the progressives were able to put things in there that were not in there more, bringing it a little bit larger, but not as big as it was before. Now, here's what I want to go over. First, I want to go over the adding things in, just the act of adding things in, and then I want to go over what they're actually adding in. So, the recon is written by Democrats for Democrats. Who writes the recon? The House subcommittees are the ones writing the recon. They're delegated different subject matters. They're doing it with the Senate subcommittees, but the lead writers, the House subcommittees, they write the House the recon. Now, later in this video, you're going to see that the members of the House Ways and Means Committee is responsible for stimulus checks and for unemployment, and they have already written in writing that they're putting monthly forced stimulus checks in there. You have to hold them to their promise because these are congressional leaders. They can flip at any time, flip-flop, and take out your stimulus checks. They can take them out later today. So you have to hold them to their promise. But we have now comments from progressives that says that they are adding stuff in there, progressives, that was not in there before. Oh boy. So there we go. Representative Ilhan Omar says we have a commitment that regardless of what happens with the bipartisan, Congress will give us a recon that goes as far as we want it. Wow. And then we have Representative Richie Torres who says he put in housing? What type of housing? And says, I refuse to vote for the bill unless it's linked to a larger recon. And then finally, the Progressive Caucus is meeting with the White House daily to go big and bold on the recon. So what is being added? Here's what you need to know, is that the subcommittees of the House have no constitutional authority to give you updates. There's no transparency rule in the Constitution that says they have to show you what they're working on or appear on Ellen and give you a draft of what they're doing. They don't, there's no obligation to do that. So they may be adding stuff in there. They may be taking things out, but we certainly see from the progressives, they're adding things in. Now, here's what you need to know, is that you need to push purple power because look at this. This is opportunity knocking on the door. This data, this economic data signaled that this president better put this stuff in the recon or his party's toast in the midterm elections. What did the economic data come in yesterday? Jobless claims shot up to 373,000. Wall Street expecting 350,000. Before the pandemic, the number of jobless claims per week was like 200, 250, 225. This is not people who are waiting at home for a bigger paying job or ticket, meal ticket. These are people who had a job a week ago and were laid off. They were terminated. They were laid off. These are people who had a job. These are not people who are staying home, not coming to work. These are people who had a job. They were laid off. And the number went through the roof, 373. It's horrible. Stock market crashed. Treasury yields plummeting. So certainly when you see this data, first thing off the top of your mind is they should extend PUA. They should extend PUC. They should extend FPUC. One viewer, what was her name? I think it was Donna Davis, in Noontime LA yesterday said, LA, can the president do something to ensure that if we had extension of unemployment benefits, the Republican governors cannot undo it? Yeah, make FPUC paid from the IRS directly to the citizen rather than going to the states. Then viewers are asking, how about student loan debt forgiveness? This is the opportunity. Knock, knock, knock. Get in there and put it in there. Student loan debt forgiveness, things like that. Business grants. This is what they need to do. They need to go big and bold because this economic data, which you're going to see more about in a second, is very bad. It's very bad. And it's not just here. It's all around the world. China, their economy is slowing. Japan, state of emergency. Stock market crashing as economic recovery is not there. Treasury yields falling because there's concern that there's less of economic growth. And the economy is actually retracting in its size. And the progressives have the ability to do it because guess what? They're protecting the bill. Remember, progressives are protecting their own progressive bill. As Jalapal confirmed, Senator Brian Schatz says the president thanked him because the White House considers the progressive priorities in the forced stimulus recon the White House's priorities. Well, who got us to this point? Jalopol, of course. Jalopol had Richard Schumer a letter saying Chuck called the vote on the recon. Now, that letter was signed by 12 House Democrats from among the 100 plus who had written the president a letter saying, we're going to do 4 stimulus checks monthly. Wow, now that's good news. Can we top that? We can. As 7 members of the House Ways and Means Committee, that House subcommittee discussed just a second ago, wrote the president a letter directly saying, we're going to put monthly 4th stimulus checks into the 4th stimulus package. Wow. Now, these are the people on the subcommittee of the House that is responsible for writing stimulus checks, and they say they're doing it. Now, you can't put that donut in your hand and put the feet up on the reclining chair and say, hey, I'm done. When's my donut coming? You have to push, because these people could shake the checks out by the end of the day. They could change their mind. Or tomorrow they could put them back in. So you can't take anything for granted with these legislators. Which brings us then to what else they're doing. Well, they say they're doing a 5th stimulus check next year, and they did your 3rd stimulus, all recon, early this year as well. Well, can we top that? We can, as the president has gotten, now official this week, the International Corporate Tax Agreement. Now, you saw him go overseas 3 weeks ago, but now it's official. Why is this huge? Because it now makes 4th stimulus recon easier to write and pass. What's at issue? A corporate tax rate. Recon is paid for by raising corporate taxes, and the president said, if I raise corporate taxes, business may leave the country for a lower corporate tax rate somewhere else. Well, those countries have now raised it. So now it's easier to write the recon, it's easier to call the vote on the recon, and it's easier to pass the recon. Wow, can we top that? We can. As we go into the final part of your 4th stimulus check update of 2021, the final 15 minutes of this video are critical. I go over the vote of July 4th. What went wrong? What's going on with July 15th? What's going on with checks and the voting process and the dates and the steps and the bills? How much have they written? I'll answer all your questions you've been asking. They're all answered. And trust me, I was asking the same questions. And then we cut to 5th stimulus as well, which now is impacted by this huge drop of the Treasury yield. Everything is changing. But one thing's not changed is the wonderful volunteers. If you need help with rent, utilities, internet, SNAP, please get it if you have not gotten it by reaching out to the volunteers. Where are they? Open the description of this video. You'll see an emoji of a house. Next to that emoji is a link to the community page, news.lalate.com/community. Has a picture of some volunteers. Reach out to them. Has a picture of some kitty cats. Lower on the page of the volunteers. Reach out to them, help them get that big money. And I'll be back in a second with a big update of your third part of your 4th stimulus check of 2021. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals. Reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join Lalate Daily for the excitement of the new Lalate live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings Lalate at 9 a.m. Home Lalate returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons Lalate at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on Lalate. And the excitement continues right now from Santa Monica on this early morning's broadcast with a lot of shocking developing details about your 4th stimulus and 5th stimulus. How are you? I'm so excited you join me. Subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. Hit that subscribe button right now. I want you part of this family. Also, like the video. Every time you like the video, it just ensures that Mitch's mixtape doesn't drop. And consider becoming a member. The link's at the top of the channel, the pinned comment. let's get right into fifth stimulus. Remember, stay on this video. It'll automatically take you into overnight's crypto when this video is over. Here's a quick rundown of why fifth stimulus got so changed overnight. Wow. So fifth stimulus is that wonderful lift of my beneficiaries' benefits that they were promised by the president on the campaign trail for presidency and then during the transition times. This is not SS200, but actually pays more. First, it'll raise your benefits up. Then remove the asset limit, add an inflationary benchmark, remove the income exclusion, and remove the marriage penalty. Let's go over what happened with the breaking news about this, and it's a shocker. It's the biggest shocking detail about fifth stimulus I think there ever has been. But first, here's a preview of something else you need to know, which is, fifth stimulus will have another stimulus check. The House Ways and Means Committee represents in that letter that they're going to do one. This would be next year. It would not overlap. Number two, the president's dedicated $1 billion to the Social Security Administration to ensure your checks come in on time. Great news for that. Number three, if you're missing a first, second, or third stimulus check, you need to do two things. File a tax return and request it on the tax return. If you haven't done both, go to a tax preparer, which brings us now to that SSI reform. And this, Delta going out of control and jobless claims horrible and world economies struggling and the stock market crashing, what was bound to happen? The bond yield fell. Now, the bond yield is your inflation rate, and the bond yield fell insane amount yesterday. It fell 1.25% in one day. It's crazy. That shows inflation going down, not up. This is what the reaction was. Ed Hyman, founder and chairman of Evercore, said this decline in bond yields could be signaling that the inflation burst is transitory, meaning the rise up is done. And or the Delta variant will slow growth, although a 1.25% drop this morning seems extreme. It is extreme. So here's what you need to know is that, Jay Powell 2 weeks ago said that inflation is going up and reaching its highest price point in December. Now it's not going up. Now it's actually going down. What's going on here? First, your benefits will be raised up one time under fifth stimulus. SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, survivor benefits, SSA, or multiple beneficiaries. Then they'll apply a benchmark. They apply the benchmark in the fall for next year's benefits. We are all knew that inflation is going up, and we were told by every single source there was, including the head of the Federal Reserve himself, that inflation is reaching its highest price point of a long time, maybe a generation, December. And then suddenly yesterday it starts going down. This is not December, folks. This is not next year. This is the summer. This is July. What's going on here? It doesn't make any sense. But it still will raise your benefits up, even if it is, a couple percentage points. That'll raise your benefits up not just next year, but a lifetime. Next, they're going to move the asset cap, dating back to a 1960s law, 80s law that says you can't stay on benefits, and also have more than $3,000 on hand. Now you'll be able to stay on benefits and have a taco in your hand. They're going to remove the income cap, dating back to a 1960s law that says you can't stay on benefits and also receive and also work. You'll be able to work finally if you wish. And finally, the marriage penalty is going to go away. Love is going to win, and you'll be able to marry your longtime love interest and no longer fear the marriage penalty. Viewers like Rob and Sandy will be able to get married and no longer worry about loss of marriage benefits. Now, if you're watching this video and you're looking and you're noticing all these people posting all this money they're getting in the live chat, and they have a purple hawk next to their name, and you're like, what's going on here? I don't get this. Well, they're members, and they're delivered from me to them daily, a breakdown of all the big money for them to get. So consider becoming a member. The word join is under the video. Click that join button. Go to the description and go to the top of the video and click the member link. Members are delivered from me to them daily via the YouTube community page, a breakdown of all the big money that's available for you under third stimulus. Because third stimulus was a $14 stimulus check, but as soon as it passed, I said, hey, I'll get you $14,000 in here because there's a lot of money for a lot of people that qualify for this big money, and I want you to get as well. All right, that brings us to the final big 15 minutes of your fourth stimulus check update 2021. Oh, so much shocker. And now the breaking news and the economic news, it's just all over the place. So let's go back to what Chuck and Nancy first said. Yeah, that July 4th date. So when the recon was like this and had roads and bridges in there, Nancy and Chuck said 1,000 times in videos and writing, and just 1,000 times, the final vote for the recon will be by July 4th. It didn't happen. So why did it not happen? Because the recon at that time had roads and bridges when they made those comments. and it was not a passable bill. We now know that, as you saw earlier in this video, that had it been called for a vote at that time, it would have failed because it was too big and had roads and bridges out of there. To which I would say, well, the split day when you took the roads and bridges out was before July 4th. So then what? So then what happened next? So at that point, they did split it up before July 4th, roads and bridges in the bipartisan and recon separated. Okay, so why not call the vote for the recon? What's the big issue? They have to call the vote for the recon before or concurrently with the bipartisan. They cannot call the vote for the recon after the bipartisan because it won't pass. Okay, so let's call the vote for the recon. Why didn't they just not call the vote for the recon before July 4th? There was a sort of problem. A problem with the recon? No. Now, most indications suggest that the recon was fully written up in bill format. Okay, so what's the problem? Why not call the vote on the recon? Because the bipartisan was not written. What do you mean it's not written? Yeah, it's not written. This is a surprise one. This is a surprise to the American people. But who's the culprit? The president. It's his fault. His absolute fault. Throughout the month of June, he was meeting with Shelley Moore Capito, a Republican negotiator, and she did not come in with a piece of paper. She did not come in with a bill. She did not come with a deal memo. She came with no paper. And when that negotiation fell apart, what did he do? He met with the bipartisan, Republicans and Democrats. And did they have a bill? No. Did they have a piece of paper? No. This is just sort of repeating itself with this president. Yeah, it is. So, okay, so the bipartisan is not ready for a vote, then just call the recon for a vote if it's ready. And then we'll get to the bipartisan, at Christmas time, in November. Let's get to it's roads and bridges. The road has been deteriorating, the bridge has been deteriorating for 100 years. It can deteriorate for another 4 weeks while we get our checks before we deteriorate. I deteriorate before the bridge. I think I need a T-shirt for that. My deterioration is a priority, not the bridge. Yeah, I think that we need that T-shirt. So it would just seem so obvious. Just call the recon for a vote now, and then do the bipartisan, when you're done with it and get it ready. No. Why not? Well, there's a series of Democrats that say no, they won't do it that way. What? Yeah. So while the recon has to be called for a vote before the bipartisan or concurrently with the bipartisan, it can't be called for a vote like 3 months ahead of time before the bipartisan. Oh, so they got to write the recon. They have to write the bipartisan and get it ready and call for a vote, within the same few days as the recon. Yeah. Okay. To which I would say, and to which every viewer of this channel is now saying, what are you doing, Congress? It's been 2.5 weeks. What have you written in 2.5 weeks? How long does it take you to write a bill that you've been talking about for 3 months? You don't need this amount of time to write a bill. Hashtag write the bill. It's 2020 all over again, and it's unacceptable, and it's just, frankly, disgraceful. They are elected as legislators to legislate and write. They're not elected to write one sentence every 5 months and come back in 20 years and they've written 2 sentences. They're not here. They're not there to flip pancakes either. They're there to write bills. And when there's an important thing, you need to get it done. The fact that they are not writing this bipartisan as fast as they should is not acceptable. And it's just like 2020. Hashtag write the bill. It's truly remarkable that a bridge is taking priority over the American people. And now the writing of a bill about a bridge that's been there and will continue to be there for a gazillion years is taking priority over the American people. It makes no sense. Next, it's important to understand what that July 15th date is. It's nothing. July 15th, viewers that are subscribers or members of this channel know it has nothing to do with this video. This video is about forced stimulus. July 15th is not a date for forced stimulus. It's a date for third stimulus. Third stimulus and children's checks, which I don't cover really on this channel. Third stimulus and children's checks is a July 15th date. I don't cover it. This is forced stimulus. All right, next thing, which is the vote. I get some hilarious comments about the vote. So they can vote on this by noon, and then the checks can be there tomorrow. Yeah, maybe in the Jetsons, the check just it just comes in with on that special car they fly. No, this is Congress. Well, okay, so how long do they need to get this check out? One day? No, it's a democracy. It's not a dictatorship, at least not yet. It requires the House and the Senate to vote, and then the president sign it, to which someone will say, oh, that's just 3 days then. No. Here's the issue. We got three bills. Three bills? Yeah, we got three bills. We have a recon procedural. We have a recon substantive, and we have a bipartisan to vote on. So is that 3 votes? No, it's 12. 12? Yeah, it's 12. Now, it does not need 12 days, but it's 12 votes, 3 sets of 4. Here we go. Senate floor, Senate subcommittee, Senate floor, House president times 3. You have to do that 3 times. So they need to get this done. They need to get going, and they need to get that bipartisan written. So suddenly you see that it's important to understand that the writing of the bipartisan is really sort of causing a wrench in the whole equation, because the writing of the bipartisan is critical. Otherwise, checks for Americans are not going out until that's done. Now, we are opportunistic people on the show. And here's your opportunity. We may have thought that recon was just, checks for the climate and then some stimulus checks. But here you go. With jobless claims growing to 373, stock market crashing, Japan's state of emergency, treasury yields falling dramatically, China's economy contracting, world economy contracting, Missouri at 80% ICU beds. Hello, use the data for your advantage and say you need to have PEUC, PUA, FPUC, you need unemployment benefits extended in the recon. Remember, the unemployment benefits of the first stimulus have already been written. To put it into fourth stimulus, you just have a line that says, I extend the program or I reactivate the program for another 3 months. It takes 10 seconds to write this, folks. They're not to write a whole new bill. They already have a bill from this. That's how they did third stimulus so quickly. Third stimulus is a few hundred pages. It was nothing for 9,000 different programs. It was only a few hundred pages because they already had the bill written. They just had to say, we're doing it again. That's all they have to basically say. So they should have unemployment extended in there, number one. Number two, they should have everything that you've been arguing for. But tell them that. Student loan debt forgiveness, rent, as the tourist said, what type of rent or housing, what type of housing, and all those monies should be in there. Use economic data to your advantage. We don't always have these advantages. We often have times where the economic data is working against you. Oh, the economy is doing well. Oh, everyone's, driving Lamborghinis. Oh, everyone's, going to Las Vegas and pool parties. Yeah, everything's wonderful. And then suddenly this type of economic data hits and it's like, oh, we're about to close back down. We're about to lose everything. Okay, use this data to get big payouts now. This is an opportunity for you to pounce. Finally, a personal message. This president needs to get it done better. He's not doing it right. He needs to spend in more categories. This sort of spend in just one subject matter approach is out of bounds. That's what the economic data showed yesterday, is that no, not just a certain demographic of Americans are struggling. It's showing lots of Americans are struggling. Lots of Americans are struggling. So he needs to understand, he needs to give stimulus across all parts of America. Now, people can say that the Republicans under first stimulus only gave money to certain groups and didn't give it to other groups. But this president needs to do better. He can't just give money to kids. He can't just give money to infants. He can't just give money to electric vehicles, which don't need stimulus. He needs to give money to people, a lot of different people, and he really needs to do everything. So business grants, he had promised for business grants. He hasn't done them. He said there was going to be, he appeared on primetime news right after he's elected. He says, I will give him a grant for you to go start a new business to come out of this pandemic, because small businesses are the core of the American people, he said. He gave nothing. He gave zip. Come on, get that checkbook out and start writing some money to the American small businesses. Get them back to normal. I have a graphic about it. You're not doing it. The EIDL grant, no one got paid. It's a disgrace. It's just a disgrace. And you said it's important that things are paid when we pass law. No one got paid for EIDL grant. Disgrace. Get people paid. You need business grants and business loans and innovation grants to go start a new business. You can't just do one type of money. My seniors need money. Get my SSI and SSDI people, they need additional sums of money. Get that money out to them. Get the money out to them. When you get a lot of money out to a lot of people, we're all back to normal. And that's before we go worse. That's before Delta gets out of control. And certainly Delta's not out of control yet. Imagine if Delta's out of control and he has not taken care of this. This is his opportunity to show his shine and to do his right thing, and I hope he does. And with that, coming up next is Overnight's Crypto. Stay on this video; will automatically take you in there. There's a lot of who would have known that in 24 hours, well, not even 24 hours, the news cycle would have changed so dramatically. And trust me, it is far from changing. So I'll have more breaking details on Mornings Lalate live at 9 a.m. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this channel. Hit that subscribe button. Like this video. 2,000-3,000 likes. Every like helps. It also delivers a $12 ice cream. And consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP, so you get information about that money. I want you to get all that money. Get it right away. That rent, utilities, Snap, and internet. Stay informed, stay focused. Have a beautiful morning, and stay valid.